I'm going with $220,000 per Bitcoin as a 2021 target. And that would bring us up to over $4 trillion market valuation, which I think is a good 2021 objective. You know, we were going to catch up to gold. That would bring us up to not quite half gold's valuation, but getting close to gold's valuation. I think the catalyst is going to be, as I said, a major central bank failing. Plus, the money printing is going to go absolutely Weimar Republic. So we're going to see that, depending on how you calculate this, the 10 to 15 trillion that was printed.
Super cycle, you would move from like 10K to a million or something like that, where, you know, I can't predict what happens when Bitcoin goes past a couple trillion market cap and all of a sudden sovereign wealth funds are like, we want to put 100 billion in Bitcoin. You know, I mean, this could be the moment where like these previous cycles increased the awareness of Bitcoin and it slowly gained adoption. But what if it's more of an S curve on a log chart where like everyone goes, oh shit, we really need Bitcoin right now. And Bitcoin moves from a 0.1% of the world population to 10%, which would be huge. It's 100x the amount of ownership. And they all just pile into Bitcoin. You know, I don't think the price does a normal cycle of just like 10xing or 20xing. It does like an insane movement into like $1 million a coin or something. You know, who knows where it goes? It could be between, I think anything between 100,000 and $1 million is possible. There's a lot of different math that shows that it could be between like $250,000 and $500,000 is the predicted top for the cycle. Who knows? Who knows where it goes? I just know that it's very underpriced when we look at the world, when we look at what Bitcoin offers. And just like, I mean, look at like Apple. Like Bitcoin is worth 1/4 of Apple. Is Bitcoin worth more than that? Yeah, totally. So yeah, I think we have a huge, I don't know where the price ends up, but it's certainly going to be an exciting 2021.
But there's always the entry point. Like I bought Bitcoin at 9,000 and I thought I was being fleeced. But the reason I bought it at 9 was because COVID shut down the world economy. So I thought it was pretty, when they started printing, so I bought Bitcoin at 9. I wish I'd bought it at 10 cents, like a lot of people did. But now I look like a genius because today it's around 55,000. This is April 2021. And I think it's going to go to 1.2 million in 5 more years. So I'm still advocating it all.
And one of your Twitter followers tweeted out something today, said, at what price will it remain stable? And you said something like between $2 and $5 million of Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's what I estimate. I mean,
most people would fall off their chair hearing $2 to $5 million dollars of Bitcoin. But why do you say that? And why is that possible for evaluation?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are just seeing the charts and thinking, how high will it go? What I'm doing is counting backwards. I mean, this is a transactional currency, and it is a store of value. As such, it is a product and a service competing on a very tangible market for stores of value and for transactional currencies. So what is the size of that market?
Right. And this is important.
And how big a market share can Bitcoin realistically take within a foreseeable time frame? Right. When you ask that question, then you come up with a market cap of Bitcoin total, and then you divide that by the number of Bitcoin in circulation by your estimated time.
All monetary energy that's simply looking for a store of value safe haven index should presumably drain out of real estate, cash, stocks, and bonds into the Bitcoin network. And as that happens, the price discovery will return to real estate and bond, right? A real bond should not pay you 0% interest, right? A real bond should not charge you money to own it, right? That's offensive. So the bond values will fall, the equity values will fall, the real estate values will fall, the yields, the dividend yields, the rent yields, the bond coupon yields, they will go up until a rational actor would choose to own those as an investment, or a person that's a passionate investor will own them because they're trophy assets that they simply wish to own, to say they own them for their own personal purposes. And the rest of the monetary energy really ought to be in a Bitcoin network because it's a pure index of the economy without counterparty risk, without execution risk, without credit risk, without debasement and political risk, without the tax risk, et cetera, and the political risk. That's why that makes sense. And that means that the top is more than 100 million. More than 100 trillion. It's somewhere between 100 trillion and 300 trillion in today's money. And of course, if we look out 5 or 10 years, there may be 700 trillion in today's money then. So if half of the monetary energy sits in a store of value index, then it could be 300 or 400 trillion dollars.